Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina and today I thought we would do something just a little bit different. In this basket here, I have a whole heap of yarn, but in particular yarn from Drops. And I thought we would go through some unpopular opinions for me to give you my own opinion on these unpopular opinions, if you like. I have been using Drops yarn for many years. And for me, it's a very affordable, as well as using yarn, that uses natural fibers. And for me, it ticks all the boxes. So I thought we would go through this treasure trove of yarn, and for me to give you my honest opinion as a knitter, for someone who's been using this yarn for many years, to maybe help you when it comes to purchasing possibly some yarn from Drops over the summer period. Where should we start? Maybe we could start with the sweater that I'm currently wearing. This I made out of Drops Melody. And for me, Melody is actually a very good yarn that you can actually happily knit with over the summer period. It's a very fluffy yarn. It looks something like this when you get it. And I got this, as you can see, in this bright pink color. I call this my Barbie sweater because it literally is like a Barbie sweater. It's amazing. Just to give you an idea, it's got 71% alpaca, 25% wool, and 4% polyamide. And the polyamide is absolutely crucial in just making sure that this whole thing stays together. And as you can see, oops, yarn falling. I think it makes a really pretty sweater. This was actually a pattern from Petite Knit. I think it's called the Ivy blouse, but it's a very lovely yarn to use, and it was so nice. I actually knitted this twice, so this is actually the second version, and I initially knitted it in a yellow color. To be honest, I've worn this many times. I finished this in January last year, and I don't think I haven't seen it shedding at all. Yeah, I don't think it sheds. I've never seen that. As I said, it's got the polyamide in it, which actually keeps it very firm and stable. And the great thing about it is also that I haven't, since February, and that we're now in June, I've not seen it pill at all. So no, I don't agree in terms of it sheds too much or at all. As you can see, I completely disagree with that. To be honest, in fact, I haven't worn this sweater or the first version I made with the other Melody, from the other Melody yarn. I don't wear them every day, and I haven't been wearing them every day since I made them. But I'm not sure, do we actually wear our sweaters that we make, like the one sweater, every day? I think we wear them regularly, and to be honest with this one, I have worn it regularly. It's not itchy at all, so hence why it's very comfortable. I mean, because you've got the fluff from the alpaca, you can feel that slightly when you don't have anything underneath it. But other than that, I think it actually works really nicely as sort of, maybe not an everyday sweater, but as a regular sweater, if you like. I think it's perfect. Okay, so the next yarn that I really want to show you, and I've recently purchased this. It's not the first time I'm using alpaca silk, or alpaca silke, as I sometimes hear it being said by other people, but I had to get it in this color. Look at that. It's just, oh my God, this like butter yellow. Like I cannot wait to make something in this color. It's just, it's really, really beautiful. Like I'm actually getting excited actually talking actually talking about it. Like I kind of want to cry. Now that maybe to a degree maybe is true, but not completely, and let me show you why. So this was actually my test sweater that I did for Kutufakika back in, I want to say February, March time as well, earlier on in the year. And I made this completely using alpaca silk from Drops, just using one strand, so it's got nothing else in it. It is pure, just that one yarn. So yes, it's kind of got that halo because of the alpaca, but it's kind of got a bit of texture to it. I don't know if you can quite see that. It's difficult for me to hold the microphone and the sweater at the same time. But I think you can see my knit stitches fairly well. And you know what? Sometimes maybe that's all we want. Maybe we just want the halo. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Oh my gosh, now this one I completely agree with. For some reason, when I did this test knit, I thought this would be so easy to do. It was just a plain stockinette V-neck sweater, and I thought, what could possibly go wrong? Well, this yarn, it sticks. It's quite a sticky yarn, which is great, I guess, if you're holding it maybe double with another yarn. But yeah, held as a single strand. I mean, it's very, very doable. As you can see, I've done it here. But yes, if you're ever unraveling or you've made mistakes and you want to unpick it, that I would say is a complete nightmare to do with this yarn. So this is Drops Saffron, if you can quite see it there, but it's I have to say, like I said, I think it's one of my most favorite yarns. I'll show you what I've made in a minute, but as a sort of a light summer garment for those really, really warm temperatures, almost heat wave temperatures, and you really want, first of all, you want a yarn that you can knit with that isn't going to be too warm or too drying on your hands. This is perfect. Second of all, when you finish knitting it and you want to wear it, you really want it to be very light. You almost don't want it to be touching your skin. Again, I think this is Drops Saffron. It is definitely soft. 100% it is soft. This is 100% cotton, which most people would probably use during sort of warmer summer months. I don't think it's meant to be cozy. I don't think it's designed to be like that. I'm sure 100% that there's probably other cotton yarns out there which kind of maybe create this kind of cozy feeling. But for me, I don't want my cotton tops to be cozy. I want them to be as lightweight and as almost relaxed and as comfortable as possible. I don't want them clinging to my skin like a cozy knit. I just don't think it's designed to be that way. So yes, it's not cozy, but in a good way, if you like. So this is my owned design. This I'm calling the pearl top, only because someone commented on the way that these stitches look like pearls. And this is made using 100% just full Drops Saffron, and it's very, very light, as you can see. This is actually designed with hardly any positive ease. So again, when I'm wearing this, I don't know if you can quite see that there. It's not designed to cling to you, to be really hot and just clingy. I don't quite know what the words are here. But I used this stitch here. It's actually a grass stitch. So I just used grass stitch all the way through. And where is it? And I'm making it again. I really want to experiment with this color. I haven't got anything in sort of like this bright yellow orange color, and I'm just experimenting, I think, with this one just a little bit. This is true. It is splitty. I don't think it's just for Drops Saffron. I kind of have noticed that a little bit with quite a few Drops yarns, how it does split when you're knitting, which is not the most ideal. But to be honest, it's not splitty enough for me to sort of stop knitting. Where you know when it's kind of like really splitty and you're like, oh, I can't be bothered to continue with this. I don't want to, it's like annoying. It's not really that kind of like annoying splitty, but you kind of do have to be a bit careful that you have, if you're like knitting, for example, like in knit stitch, that you have taken the full yarn and that you haven't just, I don't know, sliced just half of it off your needles. Okay, the next yarn, this one is Drops Belle. And the yarn or the materials used in this, it is 53% cotton, 33% viscose, and 14% linen. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually never used Drops Belle before. I've been knitting for 3 years and I've never used Drops Belle. So I'm actually using it for the first time this year. To be honest, when I first got it, I don't know if you can quite see that. The actual, like, it's not really, there we go. It looks a bit almost disheveled. It looks a bit disheveled on the actual sort of ball of yarn. And I was thinking, oh my God, is that what's it going to look like when I finished knitting it? Let me show you actually where I'm currently with it in terms of my first Drops Belle project. I have to be a little bit careful because it's halfway on my needles. But I don't think you can see that disheveled look so much when it's actually knitted up. I actually really love this color as well. Again, going back to the thing that Drops has beautiful colors, totally agree with that. To be honest, I actually kind of think the opposite. And I don't know whether that's because Drops Belle, the recommended needle size is a needle size 4. And on this one, I'm knitting it up on a 3.5. So it's creating quite a tighter gauge, which is kind of, moving away from that sort of drapey look. But if I do that, compared to the Drops Saffron, I don't think this is as drapey. The way that it feels as well, I kind of think the opposite. I kind of think that it's actually creating a bit more of this solid garment. But to be honest, because I'm literally I'm at the beginning of it, I think I will have to give you my honest opinion of that once I've actually finished it. That I would have to agree with. As I said, it kind of has this sort of like disheveled look to it when it's in the ball, but when you've knitted it up, I think it's absolutely fine. It kind of looks very, very similar to just a full cotton top. Okay, now there is one yarn that I don't have any unpopular opinions of, just because I haven't used it yet. So I can't give you my verdict, but maybe I'll have to do a second video and follow back up on this and give you my verdict at some point. But it's this one, Drops Muscat. And again, when you plan to do things and then you realize that you actually don't have the time to do them all. This was this one. It is a mercerized cotton. And to be honest, I think, unless again I'm not looking hard enough, I think it's the only DK weight cotton that Drops do. So yes, so far I don't know with Muscat. You know when you get a yarn and it kind of looks a little bit cheap? Not in a bad way. Drops yarn is a very, very affordable range, if you like. That's its selling point. But I don't think that the garments I've made look cheap, considering the price of each ball of yarn. Like Melody is like a really nice example where it doesn't look cheap. Melody, I think you have to pay just a little bit more compared to Saffron, for example. But even Saffron, like the actual ball itself, it doesn't look cheap in the slightest. But with Muscat, I don't know. I'm gonna make something. I have enough Muscat to make a dress. And that's what I really wanted to make. I wanted to make a nice summer dress for this summer. So we will have to make a video, I think, at some stage in order just to see how this knits up, especially because it's mercerized cotton as well. So I will give you my opinion on this maybe towards the end of summer. But so far, I don't know. Compared to maybe some of the other drops yarns that I'm very, very excited about, and that, as you can see with Drops Belle, I literally received that yarn literally 2 days ago and I'm already starting to use it. This Muscat I got about a month ago and it's still in my basket. So yeah, I think my overall conclusion, guys, here is that Drops yarn, it is great. It's got a great price point. It makes really, really beautiful clothing. And as we've said multiple times here, the colors, like, oh my God, like look at the pink on this. I love the colors. So yeah, I would hugely advise anyone who is maybe, thinking about buying drops for maybe a summer project, just go for it. Just go for it. I have had no problems with any of my drops yarns. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video in the corner of my living room here. I will leave a link to where I get my drops yarn from in the description box below. But let me know what you think. Like, I'm really interested in hearing other people's opinions and views on drops yarns. Maybe you've made something that's been, really, really pretty in one of the summer yarns. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. But in the meantime, I will catch up with you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.